Good morning and welcome to the next in the, is actually part 22 of our virtual coffee break series. In just a minute, I'm going to turn things over to Alan Chalker, who's going to give you not a detailed case study, but kind of a quick walkthrough. And at the end, you'll get some information as to where you can find some more information on some more detail on this case study and some of the others that are that we've showcased here in the coffee break series. Before we get into that, though, I quickly want to just invite you, if you've not already done so, to visit RevSim.org. While you're there, please sign up for our newsletter. It's a quarterly newsletter that comes out. In addition, you'll see a link to our LinkedIn site. It's just good practice for how we can kind of communicate back and forth. And speaking of that, you'll notice on the website, too, we're always looking for your input. So if you've got some suggestions, if you've got some content to offer, you'll see links there as to how you can, how we can correspond about that. So please visit the website. Again, you'll be one of many stakeholders within the RevSim community when you join. In addition to solution providers, we've got media members, we've got industry analysts, and just a host of different stakeholders within the community. So with that, I'm going to step out of the way here and turn things over to Alan, and we'll get right into the case study.
Thanks, Bob. So this case study, we're talking about truck add-ons. For those of you that drive down the interstate, particularly here in the United States, and I assume also over in Europe, you've probably noticed in the past 5-10 years that these semi-trailers, 18-wheelers, now have a variety of features. They have, for example, baffles underneath the trailer, between the main sets of wheels and the cab. They've got these boat tail aerodynamic things that are kind of on the back of the trailer. Of course, they've got these nice rounded kind of rooftop things above the driver. All of these are, of course, all to improve the aerodynamic efficiency of the truck and correspondingly reduce the fuel usage, and to improve the fuel economy of the truck. Well, particularly here in the U.S., these have been driven by some federal fuel efficiency standards called the CAFE standards. And as a result of that, there's been a lot of companies that have popped up that are making these panels and these boat tails and various truck add-ons with the intention of selling them to any of the millions of truckers that are out there to put on their equipment. And it's kind of like the Wild Wild West, or at least it was, that somebody would just go and say, hey, bolt this sheet of metal underneath your truck at a certain angle, and it's going to improve your fuel economy. Obviously, it's very, very hard to empirically test something like that, because you put this on a truck, start driving around, there's so many different real-world environmental conditions you got to deal with, and it's hard without extensive testing to do that. So TotalSim, a local CFD consulting company here in Columbus, Ohio, worked with us to develop what they call the Truck Add-on Predictor. And this is a web-based app that people can go to. They can upload their CAD file of their truck design, and they can kind of hit go, and behind the scenes it does all of the meshing, all of the solving and converging, and comes back and gives them some information on the impact on this kind of standard truck in terms of the aerodynamic efficiency, which then can be extrapolated into the fuel economy. They do not have to be any type of CFD expert as a result of this, because all of that is really hidden from them. Hand in hand with that, along with a company called Semaphore, we went and were able to build into it kind of a model of experiments type analysis, where you can run these simulations and see how they're changing based upon your input parameters, and then it gives you some suggestions or insight into what you might want to tweak in order to improve the future simulations. So it's kind of like a guided wizard that will help you see just where exactly the improvements are coming from and what's going on with those. So this is a tool that is available right now on our website, and again, it's making this modeling simulation much more accessible and easier to just an everyday manufacturer that's out there. So if you want more information about this particular study, we do have more detailed case studies available on the OSC website. The URL is there at osc.edu. You can also contact us. As part of these virtual coffee break series, we're also doing case studies from Wolfgang at the Uber Cloud, and there's a URL there for the Uber Cloud Compendium, and subscribe to the newsletter to see details of those. And I want to reiterate what Bob said at the start, that really encourage you, regardless of what your role is, to visit the Revolution Simulation website and register. There's lots of roles that you can play and information and community for you, regardless of what your particular interest is. So on behalf of Bob Farrell and Wolfgang with the Uber Cloud, this is Alan with OSC. Appreciate you listening, and please join us for our next virtual coffee break.